The riff rundown with my friends at Fishman. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this one today. We are going to end 2023 with the iconic Rolling Stones song, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. So have your electric guitars in standard tuning. If you got a telly, extra gold star for you. It's gonna sound extra great on a telly today in honor of Keith. This is gonna be a fun one to play. He just celebrated his 80th birthday not too long ago. So I figured this would be a fun one to do today. And as always, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It absolutely helps the cause. And if you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, you can click the link in the video description below. So today's episode is geared towards my beginners, intermediates. We're gonna have a lot of friendly open chords here and some really fun riffs that I took from the Glastonbury, the 2013 concert. There's just a lot of cool energy and some cool riffs in that song, and I figure why not throw some live riffs into this tutorial today. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. So electric guitar, standard tuning, and those of you who've tuned in before, you know I like to ask a question. So let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite Stones record. Where you're tuning in from, favorite Stones record, get your electric guitar in standard tuning, and here we go. Here's I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Stones. Let's go ahead and look at the intro, the iconic main riff. I'm gonna go ahead and play this just a little bit slower than I did at the top, all right? And it's all in one string, which is pretty cool. So here's how it sounds, slowed down just a little bit. Fun riff here, definitely geared towards my beginners. I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, I'm a little scared to learn riffs. This is a great one to start with. Beginners, you can play riffs. I want to show you how to do it. So we've got here our first finger. We're going to place it on the B note, so that's on the second fret of the A string. And we're going to strike that twice. Just like that, pretty simple, okay? That's all we're going to do there. And the next phrase, we're going to go to the second fret, B, to the fourth fret, C sharp, sliding that third finger, that's what I noticed Keith and Ronnie would like to do, okay, with that third finger to play that D note, fifth fret. Okay, so without the commentary, sounds like this. Let's do that again. Again. Once more. Okay, so that's the first half of the intro. Now, as we go back, it's going to sound like this. And then it repeats. So what we're going, or where we're going, okay, fifth fret of the A string, that D note, D as in dog, we're going to hit that twice. And we're going to slide it back to the C sharp, fourth fret of the A string. And then we pull off to get to that B note, and then we start the phrase over again. All right, so pretty straightforward. Let's do that again. Last time. So that's the riff. And say you're playing in a band or you're playing with a group of friends, right? And someone wants to play the chords under this. No problem. So the chords that we have underneath, it's going to sound like this, and I'll play it a little bit slower. Okay, so we have an E chord, a D chord, and an A chord. All right, so for those of you who don't know how to play an E chord, no problem, I'll show you. We're going to use our first 3 fingers here. Okay, so our first finger is going to play the G sharp. It's going to be on the first fret of the G string. Our second finger, reaching up to the second fret of the A string, it's a B note. And then your third finger, just underneath it, okay, second fret of the D string, that note is E. So for our E chord, we need an E, G sharp, and a B. And there they are. All right, so go ahead and strum everything. There's your E chord. Okay, those of you who don't know a D major, I'll show you that one too. You can use the same 3 fingers. We're going to put them in different places, okay, because it's a different chord. So first finger here, placing that on the second fret of the G string, that note is an A. Okay, second finger, second fret of the E string, that's an F sharp, and then our third finger is going to play the D note on the third fret of the B string. So D major, you guys know I like to throw in a little bit of theory. The D major chord has a D note, an F sharp, and an A. The 1, 3, and the 5, they are all present here. Strum from the D string downward. That's the chord there. Okay, and the last chord is A major. There are many different ways to play this chord in this spot. For me, this is the most comfortable way to play this. I like to use my second, third, and fourth finger. Again, there are many different ways to play this chord, but this is how I like to do it. I'm going to place my second finger on the second fret of the D string, that's E. Okay, my third finger on the second fret of the G string, that is A, and my fourth finger on the second fret of the B string, that is a C sharp. So those of us keeping score of what the notes are, we are playing an A major, 1, 3, 5, to build a major chord, A, C sharp, and E, and they are all present. So strum from the A string downward. We will finish the phrase by going back to that E major. So I will play this nice and slowly and follow along. Here's what's happening underneath the main riff. So just like that, nice and easy. From there we go into our verse. So our verse, we go between the E and the A. So the part where he says, I can't get no satisfaction. That's what's happening there. The part where he goes, and I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. Okay? The chords sound like this, and I'll play it a little bit slower. The only new chord here is going to be a B7. So this one, we're going to use all 4 fingers. First finger. We're going to place that on the first fret of the D string. We're going to call this a D sharp. Okay? Second finger, second fret of the A string, B note. Third finger here, second fret of the G string. That's an A. That's our flat 7. And then our pinky finger here on the F sharp, second fret of the E string. Strum from the A string downward. And there it is there. I love a good, well-placed 7th chord. They really make a difference. So that's the one new chord there. So the order is E to B7, back to E, and then to A. And then that leads into our chorus. So let's go ahead and go through both the verse and that, we'll call it like the little pre-chorus there. So the verse, E to A, and then what we'll call the pre-chorus is E to B7, E to A. All right. So here we go, nice and slowly here. Okay, we can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. My favorite motto is on the riff rundown, because it's true, it's true. Can't play anything fast, we can't play slow. So here we go, from the top. Let's do the verses. So let's keep this nice steady pace. Now let's go into our pre-chorus, E major, B7, E, A. Just like that. Let's play it a little bit faster. Verse. Into that pre-chorus. Just like that. So let's go ahead and do this. Before we get into that chorus, which is the riff, let's put all our pieces together. So let's go ahead and do an intro with the riff. We'll go right into a verse, into a pre-chorus, and then into the chorus where we'll do the riff again. Okay? So here we go from the top. I'll slow it down just a little bit. Here we go. Last time. Now into our verse. Into our pre-chorus. Into our chorus riff. There it is. Pretty cool, right? And if you wanted to play the chords underneath it, underneath the chorus, be like this. We've got the acoustic guitar player playing that, which is great. Now, that's pretty much the song right there. So done. However, we still got plenty of time in this lesson. So let me show you some of the riffs, again, to the best of my ear. This is from the live version from Glastonbury in 2013. To the best of my ear, and like from watching both Ronnie and Keith, here's what I've kind of found. So over the E to A, okay, we've got this little riff here, which I think is so cool. It's awesome. So what we're going to do here is I will play it just a little bit slower. Okay, so if we're playing it fast. Such a great riff. So we're going to get our third finger here, sliding from the second fret of the A string, just like that. So B to C sharp, second fret to fourth fret. You're going to get your first finger on the second fret of the D string, that's A. And again, alternate picking here is a must. From there, fourth fret, pull off to the second fret of the A string, and strike the open A string 2 times. Let's go ahead and do that nice and slowly. Do that again. wanted to, saw that like Ronnie would, I kind of did like an A5 chord there. All it is, you're going to get your first finger, lay it across the second fret of the D string and the G string, and play that open A string along with it. Okay, so it would sound like that with the chord. You can even do that too, and just land right on that chord. Kind of cool, gives it a little body. And the next line, it's pretty much the same exact thing, we just bring everything up a string. So your third finger sliding from the second fret of the E string, F sharp to G sharp. First finger plays the second fret of the A string, B. Go back from the G sharp to F sharp. Open E string to the E5. I'll do that nice and slowly. Faster. Again. One more time. Let's combine both parts. Here we go. Again. One more time. Our E. Let's do one more time, it's fun. And then with a little speed. Just like that. Kind of fun. Cool little line that I noticed that they did in Glastonbury. Okay, so that's one of them. You can put it in your back pocket. Great, great little riff to know. So then there were some other ones, again, just some verse ideas, close to what they're doing, again, to the best of my ear. Over the verse section, because the verse we're playing the E, so da, 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 and then to the A, right? So we can do, and again, from when I was watching Ronnie, it was kind of like a... a suspended thing, very cool, with a different inversion of E major. So this is another way to play E, and I'll show you how to do it. So what we're going to do here is you're going to get your third finger, slide it from the 9th fret of the A string to the 11th fret. That's a G sharp. So we're putting the third in the bass here. We're going to get our first finger across the 9th fret of the D string, G string, and B string. And if you don't want to play that, you don't have to. You could just play the G string and D string respectively. So you have your G sharp, you have a B, and an E. Pretty cool, right? So we can do this, play the E chord this way. And you could even do a fun little hammer on here too. So getting that first finger, leaving it there at the 9th fret of the D string and G string, and getting your third finger, hammering on, playing that part, hammering on with that third finger on the 11th fret of that D string, which would be a C sharp. Kind of a fun little line. I'll play it slowly. And then we go to an A. To an A sus4, back to A major. So, this version of A, different grip, but very cool. So we're going to use our thumb here. Again, optional. If you find that the thumb is uncomfortable, you don't have to use it there. It's kind of nice, though, to have that bit of low end in the chord, but totally up to you. You don't have to. So optional thumb on the 5th fret of the E string. We're going to get our first finger on the 5th fret of the B string. That's an E. Remember, A, C sharp, and E. Those 3 notes we're looking for. We're going to get our second finger here, placing that on the 6th fret of the G string. There is our C sharp. And then we're going to get our third finger here on the 7th fret of the D string, which is A. Now, you can strum, especially if you have your thumb here on the 5th fret of the E string. You can strum the E string through the B string. Even that open A is fine, because guess what? We're playing an A chord. Totally cool, right? So you can do that. And then if you want to make this a suspension, all you're going to do, this pinky finger, you're going to place it on the 7th fret of the G string. That C sharp turned into a D note. Release, we're back to A major. So here's the sus and the major. So if we play this riff, it's like chordal riff, nice and slow, it'd sound like this. It's kind of neat, right? Let's do that again. See, even nice when I throw in that low E string, and then on top of that E chord, it's beautiful. I'll do that again without the commentary. To A. Let's do a little faster. With some of these placements of the sus chords and even some of these hammer-ons. Have fun with the timing and the groove, because again, we're just going between 2 chords. So make it fun and make it you. Because again, these lessons, I like to plant the seeds, and these songs are so iconic and wonderful, and they live on their own as live songs too. So if you watch this Glastonbury version, you'll see that they play a lot of cool stuff that's different from the record. So kind of neat. Anyway, I thought I'd do that one. So that's in between the verses of E and A. Like you can even throw that in, going from the 9th fret of the D string and the G string, bringing it up to the 11th fret and then putting it back to the 9th fret. Again, options are endless. It's really cool. So that's a verse idea. When we get into the pre-chorus, this thing that Keith Richards does, I think is so awesome. It's this really great little riff, all based around chords, but again, adds such beautiful texture. It's this cool, like really bluesy kind of stuff. So let me walk you through that. So this is being played over that pre-chorus of the E to the B7, to the E, to the A. And we see bits of these chords in all of these little riffs that he does. It's just awesome. Okay. So when we get to the B7 part, it's just so fun. I can't wait to show you this. So we've got the first finger, okay, placing that across the 4th fret of the D string, G string, B string, and E string. Sounds like a bunch of nothing right now, don't worry, okay? We're gonna do here. So we're gonna get our pinky finger, placing that on the 7th fret of the high E string. That's a B note. This is such like a cool Keith voicing. And if we look here, this is a triad of B major, and then you have another B up here. So it's like a B major on just with like extra Gatorade, I don't know. So right? So we've got that. From there, you're going to get your second finger, placing that on the 5th fret of the high E string, all right? You're going to strum it again, lifting that second finger out of the way. And then your pinky finger, 7th fret of the B string. And this is being played over that B7. Just like that. Nice and slowly. Let's do it a couple times. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but it's really fun once you get it down. Okay, let's do that a little faster. So that's what we're looking for there. Again, have your thumb, notice how you can't see it. If I place my thumb up here, notice how my hand is completely shriveled. So we want that thumb in the back so our hands and fingers can like really, really stretch. It's a good thing. So from there, sounds like there's an open E string. And he's doing this cool slide. So what's happening there? Open E string. We're going to get our first 2 fingers here. First finger on the 2nd fret of the B string, that's our C sharp, and then our second finger, first finger on C sharp, done. Second finger is going to be on that, okay, that like B flat, and then we're going to slide it up a half step to the 3rd fret and 4th fret. Just like that. So that's being played over the E chord, all right? So we've got just like that. I'm hybrid picking this, so meaning I'm using the pick on the G string and plucking upward with my 2nd finger on the B string. It feels a little more comfortable for me. Could you strum it? Absolutely. You could, but I feel like I have a little bit more like tonal control if I have my hands on it. Like that. So totally up to you. And then we've got this, which is an A7 chord, which is really neat. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to get our first finger here across the 2nd fret of the D string, G string, B string, E string, okay? So there's your A6, we want to make it an A7. So we're going to place that 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, or your 2nd finger, whatever's more comfortable for you. I kind of like to use my 3rd finger there, on the G note, 3rd fret of the E string. And you're going to kind of bend it ever so slightly. Change the pitch a little bit. We don't want to change it too much. We want to almost feel like, I don't know, like we're kind of riding a little wave, if that makes sense. Just want to give it a little bit of a snarl there. And then strike the open E string. So for context, we've got this, all 3 parts. Just like that. Let's do that one more time. One more time because it's so fun. Let's do it again. And again, fast. There you have it. There's some of the awesome riffs. Again, are there many, many more awesome riffs? Yes, but these will absolutely get you started. Again, want to thank all of you for being just so wonderful. These lessons are so fun. Want to thank my friends at Fishman. And as always, happy playing. Have a lot of fun with this one. This is such a great tune. Again, have a blast learning this one, folks.